Vladimir Putin was born in October 1952. He was born in Leningrad. His father had served in the armed forces in the submarines flotilla when he did his military service in around 1932-33. And during the Second World War, he was conscripted like many others, and he was sent to Leningrad front, very close to where he actually lived. At some time during the autumn of 1941, he found himself in a position where there was a German soldier and there was him and another Soviet soldier. The German soldier acted a fraction of a second quicker, threw a grenade at them, and this killed the father's friend and knocked the father unconscious, and for many hours he lay wounded in this position. He was eventually rescued, he was pulled out, but he was no longer fit for being in the army, so he was sent off in the summer of 1942 to work in a machine tools factory which made weapons, machine tools for weapons. And this clearly had an effect on Putin and the younger Putin. Now, before he was born, his parents had had 2 children, and both of the children had died. This is exactly the same as what happened to Adolf Hitler's parents, of course. And like Hitler before him, he was also mollycoddled as a child. Both of his parents, because Hitler was mollycoddled only by his mother, but Putin by both of them. Indeed, when he went off to the KGB, his father said something along the lines of, "Now please look after our Volodya, because he's all we've got in the world, and he's all our hopes for the future." His mother lived long enough to see his political career, if you like, start, but he rose very, very quickly. She died in the year before he became Prime Minister in 1998. Now, at the time of his birth, she was already 41 years old. So this can, I think, also explain some of the mollycoddling and the care that they gave for their child. Now, in the 1950s, Leningrad was a pretty poor place to be. Their family lived in one of these fine old houses that had once belonged to a rather grand family. It's located not so far from the Church of the Spilt Blood, if you look it up on the Google Maps. And it's so today I'm sure this area is quite an expensive area. Indeed, in the former family home, there's a museum today. However, then it was very, very poor. It was, if you've seen the film Dr. Zhivago, it's a very good example. Whereas after the revolution, you've got the Zhivago family, which are aristocrats, and they have this big house. And after the revolution, you've got all these families sort of living in their house, and they've got just one room for themselves. And that's the way it was with the Putin family. Of course, they were the ones who'd taken it over from the grand family, or this would have been some time later. It would have been a flat which is allotted to them. Now, where they were living, there were 2 other families as well. So it was 3 families in one unit. There was a kitchen as such in the corridor. Well, kitchen isn't the right word. There was 1 gas ring in the corridor, toilet communal. It had been pretty unpleasant, really. And one of the things that had happened there was that, and Putin himself has told this story a couple of times, is that there were rats. And what the young lads then would do was they chase after the rats, and this would be their form of entertainment. And okay, so Putin's told this story. There's 2 versions, but it's very, very similar, the end. That one day he cornered a rat, and that rat, not knowing what to do, went for him. He backed off, and the rat, so someone jumped onto a banister and ran away. And that story that he has said various times, is, I think, quite important for what may happen now. He needs to have a way out, because if not, he's just going to attack like that rat did. Write down your comments below. Say what you think. Someday I might even do a longer biography of what I know of the life of Putin. Thanks very much for watching.